up in here. This is behind the scenes, and then we're going to flip the cam on the Instagram.
We're going backstage to front stage.
Okay, here we go. So this episode is dedicated to one of our loyal fans, as everybody knows. As everybody knows. I don't even say this. Vegan Steven has the best fans in the world. Now, there was a time, once a very sad kind of time, when Vegan Steven fell into a crippling depression, not even allegedly, and all the kind of tears and feeling sad and all the rest of it, and he googled up how euthanasia and what all this stuff was to do with it. Because maybe I was thinking about, trains, and I wasn't really sure how to end my life and all that stuff, because it was just one of those things. I didn't really know what the crack was with mental health. I was just very confused, and I'm going to bring this up to happy times in a minute, but I'm just being real with you for the next few seconds. So I'm going to have a mental health number attached in the bio. Just
which one? Samaritans or?
I'm going to attach all the health numbers, Samaritans, any other ones that are suggested, and please include your own mental health number in the bio.
It's okay? Where you are from the world there. There's always someone there.
There's always someone there.
There's always someone who will spunout.ie, reach out.
Spunout.ie is good.
Reach out.
Reach out is good.
And leanonme.net.
Leanonme.net.
I mean,
so just link all the the mental health phone numbers below. We'd really appreciate that. We're all here in it together. Vegan Steven's just here to spread positivity. So listen,
we're all in to make the world a better place. Everyone to make everyone feel better about themselves. One of the
number one Vegan Steven listeners asked, "What's my opinion on euthanasia?" And I'm going to answer that with a clear yes or no. This is a comedy show and is parody and all the rest of it, but before I get into all that,
right, when are we getting the serious stuff out of the way?
We're getting the serious stuff out of the way.
Because I want to drink my 7-Up and go. I need my potty train to finish my potty train.
I'm going to be serious for the next 10 seconds, then I'm gone. So listen, we all have sad days and all the rest of it, and some of you may be looking up this euthanasia stuff because you're looking for whatever you're looking for. But consider ringing some of these numbers if you're looking into it or whatever. And now,
just before I go, I'm saying there's no need to kind of act on what you're thinking. Don't act on your impulse. Just kind of stop and think for a sec. You're not off the wall or anything like that. People always care for you no matter what. Just kind of look a little bit outwards as well. There's someone who will help you. It doesn't matter who. You're not going to be judged. Don't worry about what others think. You're actually the people who admit that there's something up with them and who seeks help are the strongest. They are the strongest than the ones who think, I can. The DIYers not maybe so, but don't be like that. Just go and, because we are a collective, tribal beings anyway. So seek out for someone. You're not being needy or you're not pestering or anything. You're being true to yourself, and you're being courageous by doing that. You're extremely courageous. So
yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. And I wouldn't put it any other way ever. And if anyone did, then those people are to be avoided at all costs, and maybe they should also probably seek help for the same reasons, because they're in that kind of state of mind. So maybe you can also seek for help, and we can all help each other. We all need someone to lean on, ultimately. I mean, that's the song Bill Withers say. That's we all do. I mean, there's no shame, because we are those people. We are. No one can go at it alone. We're not expected to, and we shouldn't have to go at it alone. Nobody should be expected to. We're not designed to be loners, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we're tribal creatures.
You're not. Don't see yourself as a burden. That's the worst thing. I think that word should be removed from the Oxford Dictionary, all dictionaries on the planet, because I think that word does more damage than any other word in any language or the equivalent. I think get rid of that word, because it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a burden. There's people who want help. We all help each other, because if we were in that situation, we would like that help. So please, whatever decision you take, be proud of yourself. If you ask for help, and if you want or something to help you in any way to help you, be proud that you did that. It's all a goal. It's an achievement. You're overcoming something, an obstacle in your life, and we all have our obstacles. And that's a way of doing it, then you've achieved that. So, I mean, be proud of yourself. You're looking forward to there's always light at the end of a dark tunnel.
Yeah.
So.
We did it. We did all the things, and now we're getting into general.
Now
we're off the hook.
Now I'm just saying.
We're off the hook.
I'm just saying.
We're okay.
I'm just saying that all this is pretend. I don't give a fuck about you anyway.
Yeah, we're just being real.
I was just being
for a minute, and then we're gonna get into the comedy show.
No, we went from being real to unreal.
Unreal, exactly.
Like unreal.
Vegan Steven Podcast is a parody of podcast. Vegan Steven's fictional character. All guests are allegedly fictional characters. All characters, events of the show, even though it's based on real people, are entirely fictional. All characters and voices are impersonated poorly. The following program contains coarse language and due to its content should not be viewed by anyone. This is the Vegan Steven Podcast. We are currently live. The date is the 14th of the 12th, 2019. This is the #1 vegan podcast promoting positive mental health. It's not just for vegans, it's every day. I'm your host, Vegan Steven. We are currently live on Instagram, iTunes, and Spotify, all the things. We are talking right now shit hot. We're listening to the fans wanted to know. They're asking Vegan Steven, what's your opinion on? Do you remember that particular question?
Euthanasia.
The person who asked the question. It's gone.
Something like image airhead.
Image airhead or something.
Well, I said part of it, but the idea is to forget half of it because you're like not important that we forget half.
It was just a general question.
Spellbound.
Exactly.
I was spellbound, like I was in a daze, like.
So we're just gonna have a crack. We're gonna Google see what this. We're gonna find out. We're gonna Wikipedia. We're gonna just relax. We're two mates. We're gonna chill. We're gonna just Google it. I'm afraid to do this episode by myself, to be honest. So I'm glad I have someone here to like just.
Well, I'm here to.
If one of us gets emotional, the other one can be like, "Wah."
Well, I'm here to take your reputation.
We'll see what happens.
Into my phone.
So there's funny sides to everything, and all the rest of it. So listen, it's time to end that. We're gonna cut off that. I no longer feel bad about making jokes for the subject. I'm just looking for the laws at this stage. I'm gonna dig for laws. We're gonna do some research and see what the internet has to say about euthanasia. Like, what's it all about? And what's all this? What's everything? Like, what is it? Let's find out.
Let's find out about partial euthanasia.
Okay.
That's the bit where your alarm goes off at 6 o'clock in the morning. You want to sleep for another 4 hours.
Okay.
Because you want to just sleep in. You're technically in that sleep because you're in another world and you just want to get up. Euthanasia is great.
Right.
But
is that what it is?
No.
That's partial euthanasia, is it?
No, probably not.
Right, I'm pretty gullible, so
I'm making that up on the stuff.
Alright.
I'm gonna take the bit. You took it out of me. I'm taking.
Yeah.
I'm taking the. We're gonna go too, but I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, but euthanasia. First of all, euthanasia is assisted suicide. Well, both of them have the same objective.
Okay.
They just do it kind of two differently.
One's assisted by yourself, the other one's assisted by externally.
Exactly. Well,
one's temporary, one's permanent.
Well, they're both permanent, but how it's done is for assisted suicide. For example, someone might pour the poison into your glass and they'll hand you the glass and you'll drink it, and you're dead. Whereas euthanasia is when someone comes over with an injection and puts it into you and you die that way.
Oh, hang on. They sound kind of like the same thing. Okay, they're different though.
They are. One is they. Think of it this way.
So the person dies either way, but how they die is different.
Well, yeah. So
okay.
I'll make it even easier. We'll take the lethal injection.
No, sorry, I understand.
So the assisted suicide is someone hands you the needle, say, right, you do this yourself. Here's the needle, and I just take it and jab into myself, and I die. That's assisted. Right. It's like, well, I'm giving you the stuff. I'm helping you. I'm encouraging you. I'm helping you to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas euthanasia is, I'm going to come over and do it for you.
Ooh, but is there a contract involved beforehand, or what's the
Yeah, of course, yeah.
There is, but what if they can't write?
They're not allowed to do it then.
But what if they can't? What if they're paralysed or something? How does that work? They do a blink?
They kind of have things. Yeah, they have things. They say, well, look into your eyes, and they have machines and all that. Because I actually watched an episode in the hospital where a man was saying, if you want to live, move your eyeballs to the right. If you want to die, move them to the left. And he moved them to the right, so he wanted to live. So they kept him alive and the life support. I don't know the final outcome, but they like he had balls, like eyeballs, to say how he lived. Yeah, he had the balls to live, baby.
I always mix up my left to right, so that could have been a hazardous situation for me, man. The old dyslexia.
What do you mean left to right? Like
I always put the wrong foot in the wrong shoe and all sorts of mad stuff.
What do you mean right and wrong?
Oh.
Just let me get this. Now this is I could be like a dead body like at the end of the morning. Like, I remember just watching this episode of Dran. I really want to take these glasses off, but I'm afraid. But I'll do an imitation of a guy in a movie.
Okay.
In a comical, it's like dark humor where,
Okay.
like this is like accidental euthanasia, where he basically was in the water fighting a fucking shark or something like that, and he drowned, and he was kind of like fighting like, and he just went like.
Yeah.
Something like that. You just like his eyes just look like it reminded me of someone giving out to me like really fucking pissed off where the eyes just fucking bulged wide. It looked like it's like you're absolutely pissed off because you're gonna die like something like that. Yeah. But yeah, that's just that's just kind of related because it falls like you think you're gonna die, but I don't know if he did die or just made it look like and I laughed at it. My mum's like, Tenny. It's like, yeah, well, it looked like they made it in such a way it's gonna be funny anyway. It was a funny photo shoot.
Sure, she called you Dr. Boogie, didn't she? Because you're a christened Dr. Boogie, weren't you? Out of the womb.
Exactly, yeah.
They were like, what we call it, Excalibur, Dr. Boogie.
I was kicking in the womb, I was kicking and fucking screaming like, yeah, fuck you, I'm getting out of here. Fuck you, cunt.
That's the origin story.
Explore myself. Undo my
Marvel
fucking self.
Trying to buy the rights to the Dr. Boogie Marvel origin story.
I buy the rights to my existence, like, fuck, hey, I'm bored. Hey, now you listen to me. This is how we're fucking doing things.
So is euthanasia's generally, if I looked up, we're going to Google like what it means. Does that mean like you ring up someone like you go if someone says what's euthanasia to me, the vision I have in my head is like there's some ill person in their house and they're like, I'm in a lot of pain, I need to die, I'm having shy crack, I need to ring someone up who's going to show up with like an injection or something, and kill me or something.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like I don't know anything about it. We haven't Googled it yet. We don't know.
But that's exactly. It's the same thing. It's just like you're giving consent to someone else to kill you.
Right. So it's passing consent.
Yeah, it is consent.
Suicides.
It has to be consent. Otherwise, if he went to someone and he said, "I don't want to die," and he did it, then it would be murder.
Mm.
So there is a fine line between euthanasia and the thing is the person itself that's going to die has to give consent. You cannot be on someone else's behalf because it's murder.
Mm.
I have to tell you now, this is very fucking serious.
Oh shit!
Before we get to the
humor, we better not make any jokes there.
Oh no, definitely.
Jeez.
It's only a dead body. Like, fuck it. No, but
are we getting on? That lad from college, Sam Burry. What's that name?
Sean Newbury, yeah.
Sean Newbury's on the phone. Hey, getting on, Sean Newbury. You're looking away. I like your hair, Sean Newbury.
Nice, man.
Is there any chance of a rusty trombone
come on,
Are you coming on? We don't want it in the shop.
Call him.
Alright, I'm going to keep Googling here.
We should have a phone in.
A phone in, wait.
Phone in, we want to hear from you.
Phone in, live. Well, you literally can, like.
So,
I'm going to be looking up like definition of euthanasia, whatever that is.
I'll go on about
That's a hard word to
I'll go
spell.
about the poor child that died because she was sentenced to death for spending too much time on Facebook.
Well, what? Is this euthanasia or was this?
Well, I wouldn't say consented. It was a bit kind of unconsented, but because she was so brain dead, she wouldn't be able to consent either way.
Oh, okay, so yeah, totally.
So she was like,
go for it.
So there was a big fucking case somewhere in some country. I'm not going to say where it was.
Maybe I can Google. What was this? We don't even know. Okay, it's just random story then. You go for it.
Should I say the country?
That would help me Google it, yeah.
Okay, America.
Okay, America.
Child euthanasia in America. Child euthanasia, America. It was only one case. The only case in the whole world. There's one case. A 13-year-old girl, like she was brain dead, stroke, paralysed. The whole thing.
A stroke at 13. That's shit.
Everything. Yeah, everything. And she was brain dead, and the only thing she knew was the only communication. She was just on her phone all day on the couch, on Facebook all the time, and then her parents decided to, after a big long court battle, their parents won the battle to euthanize her. So they got a doctor in. I hate to say the word doctor because doctor's supposed to make you feel better, but so I'll say Defter or something, or something like that.
Dr. Death.
Death.
Angel of Death.
You're my darling angel.
I have US euthanasia 13.
30.
What are the 4 types of euthanasia? That's handy.
Well, this girl was killed by lethal injection. Just so you, they jabbed it into her and she died. Like
Really? And there was a court case and everything involved, was there?
before she died, and
Before she
the
died.
parents won
So-
a fucking court case.
Was this a happy, you know, like it was a regular happy girl and then she got in a car crash or something
Something
and then
happened.
she's paralysed? Was that
Yeah.
the kind of situation?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And there was a court case saying, can we kill this person? It
Or
was a big
not.
publicity thing,
Yeah.
maybe. And then
They won it,
they won the court case, okay.
and then they got the people to kill her.
And they got the people to get, and the government was involved and all the rest
Yeah.
of it. Okay, and it was all legal above board.
Yeah.
You know what state it was in, maybe?
I'm trying to think. I don't know if it's Oregon
Alabama,
or something.
Oregon. Okay.
No, it wouldn't be
So
Alabama.
this is all hearsay, unfortunately.
Here's something very ironic. Like
I'm gonna look it up.
places like Alabama and all have the death penalty, like with lethal injections, if you're convicted of murder, aggravated murder. But they wouldn't allow euthanasia. The places where they actually euthanasia is the places where they don't have the death penalty. Notice in Amsterdam as well, in Belgium, they don't have the death penalty, but they allow for a lethal injection for not for
Even
physical.
Amsterdam.
I think Amsterdam,
So
yeah.
confused by
And
the world.
Switzerland as well. It's just a suicide. It's you have to kill yourself. You have to be able to hold a cup and drink the poison
Jesus.
to kill yourself. But it's the same. You are allowed to help someone die in those countries. But where the grey area comes is when you bring people abroad from a country where it's not allowed over to those countries too, because if you're in that country, you're out of the laws of the you're out of the jurisdiction.
So if you move country or travel internationally in seas, or what's
well,
we're talking about jurisdiction here and responsibility of the law, are we?
Well, let's say it's illegal to actually take someone. Okay, right, come on, we're going to kill you in a different country. It's illegal to bring them over to. If someone says here, I want to die, in a country where assisted suicide is not legal, or euthanasia, you're not allowed to actually bring that person over to a country where it is legal and help them die, because that person could be slightly incompetent and you could be encouraging them to die.
Is there any history of any kind of euthanasia in Ireland?
Not that I know of. I mean, it would always be illegal. There was in the UK. There was in the UK of
Really?
assisted suicide, but
Okay.
it was just by legal technicality the person wasn't prosecuted, but
Right.
it is eligible for prosecution. Whereas, if you do it by the books in the countries where it is allowed, you cannot be prosecuted. But if you bring a person out of a country, even if they have consent, out of a country where it is illegal into the country where it's legal, you can come back and face charges of abetting or aiding suicide or homicide or something like that. Some homicide charge.
I'm just going to give you a break to wet your throat there with a pint or whatever you want.
This is my throat. This is my red throat. It's
I
bloody.
just have we have a poll here on journal.ie, is euthanasia ethical? We're going to have a look at that. First of all, we have, is euthanasia legal in Ireland? It just says here, this is according to hse.ie. Both euthanasia and assisted suicide are illegal under Irish law, depending on circumstances. Ooh, jeez. Bit of a
Do you know
loophole
what?
there.
Oh my god, no, that's the first I've heard of that. I swear to fucking.
I'm going to keep reading.
Go on.
Euthanasia is regulated as either manslaughter or murder and is punishable by up to life imprisonment. Arrested suicide is illegal. Assisted suicide is illegal. Attempting to commit suicide itself is not a criminal act. I'm moving very swiftly on before we can let Dr. Boogie get a word in. Like a politician. No, let me finish. You keep going.
Go on, go. Oh yeah,
No, I'm onto a different
fucking
article
finished.
here.
I'm dead.
You go.
Go on, I want to see it. I want to hear
Well, I'm just reading out a poll.
Go on, keep going. I want to see it. What's
I
the
don't
poll?
even know how to do this.
I pole dance, so fuck it.
Wait, it's just said, this is the journal.ie, and it says, like, would you support legalisation of euthanasia in Ireland? And it's a poll, but I don't know how to find out the answer. We've got to vote.
Yes.
I'll just type in yes
Okay.
and vote, and maybe they'll tell me the answer.
It should do.
So this is...
What's the answer?
Oh, it doesn't have a percentage.
No, tell us. Okay.
Maybe further down.
More people say yes more than no.
So maybe they can tell me that in a percentage somewhere or something.
I think they don't mean that it's easy to kill someone. Then you get the.
Oh, here it is. Here's the poll.
So yes, it's more.
Jesus,
Yeah.
fuck. So in Ireland,
76.8 was it?
76.8%
would support
would
it.
support. Was it euthanasia? No is 17.4, and finally, I'm not sure. That little green thing, it doesn't even say a percentage.
Well, whatever the remaining.
924 people.
Whatever the remaining is, I'm not doing the maths.
So This could be rigged. Rush should be rigging this. JK.
J.K. Rowling.
How are you having a J.K. Rowling?
When I die, I'm going to fucking Hogwarts heaven, and just tell them to fuck off and.
Yeah.
It's my own fucking.
So Greg Ward has to say about this on the journal.ie. Just general, like I'm sure Dr. Boogie is fucking. But you bust and say loads of stuff, are you?
Oh,
we'll read the comments in a while.
Go on. I'd rather react to the comments. That's the best bit.
If Greg Ward has a picture of himself there in the trials, fair play to him, and he says, if people are of would you like to read it? Or like, I'll read it. If people of sound enough mind to make that decision, they should be allowed to. It's always baffled me that we're kinder to animals in this regard than we are to ourselves. Oh my god, Greg Ward! Do you know who you're talking to? Vegan Steven here. That was a dramatic outburst that was a bit forced. I was trying to play the character of the outraged vegan there, but yeah, I don't know. Well, I keep going. Is there any of those that jump out to your or you just chat away? There's the comments. This lad.
Oh, the people just been. I'm not going to read them because they're not. There's no.
Just babble.
I'm not even going to.
Just opinions.
The rest.
Where are the facts?
Like I said, with euthanasia, first of all, in a general way, I don't think it should be that easy. I think for a mental illness, for example, there is always options where you can, even if you don't quite fully recover, there is ways you can kind of use that to your advantage. I don't think there's any way. I've watched documentaries where like a partner was with his girlfriend and he was like in another country, and she suffered from the illness called dysthymia, which is like chronic depression. It's not like a severe depression, but it's an ongoing irritability depression which never goes away, but it's enough to cause a serious amount of damage. And she said like no other treatment was working, and she was only in like her late 20s, and she opted in for, I don't know if it's euthanasia, assisted suicide, and she went ahead and it worked. She got what she wanted. I personally think, I'm not obviously in her shoes, so I'm not going to speak the whole thing. I need to obviously walk in someone's shoes before I can really say, but I think people in that state, I don't know what kind of, they're in a different mindset to what, let's say, maybe another person who's looking at it is from. Even if they had a illness, what about, they should be looking up, first of all, before they kind of go down that route. Why not look up to a support group or something around the world? We got the technology, there's no excuse. We got the technology. Why not look up to a support group where people who have the same kind of issues and then kind of help one another through it? Would that not be, obviously with illness where you're in the final stages of cancer and you are going to die, you've got your death sentence, you've been given, bang, you're going to fucking die in like 2 days time, and you don't want to suffer for those 2 more days. Fair enough, yeah, I think, and you give full consent, I think maybe then, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But they have a thing they call passive euthanasia as well, which is not mentioned, which happens here in countries where euthanasia is not.
In Ireland?
Ireland, UK, America, where, yeah, and what that is, it's palliative care, basically. When they're in the final...
Palliative?
Palliative.
Palliative. Whoa, I'll have to practice saying that.
So palliative care is end-of-life care, which they give in hospices, and what they do is they give you morphine to stop you from feeling pain, and I think it gives you like a high.
Yeah.
Like, hi, honey. Hi, my honey. I'm coming to see you, baby. Yeah. Yeah. And they have like deathbed visions and all that, but it's a way, like, they don't kill them, but it indirectly, they know the morphine's going to kill them faster, and that's it. That's legal. They know it is, but it's passive because it's not directly. You're not putting something to kill them straight away. And there's another thing called I think it's eternal sedation, which means you just put them to sleep until they die of the natural causes. So the injection doesn't kill them, but it just anaesthetizes them as if they're going in for operation. But then they're just asleep until they die anyway.
So they'd be dying of other things apart from like starvation. They'd be dying of
They'll die of
things,
the illness that they're. I mean, they'll probably
would
still.
they be feeding them through a tube then? Or?
Yeah, well, they have to because of the legal stuff.
So are we just? Is it just? A case
it's the
of
same way. It's the same.
With legal loopholes at this stage.
I think. Well, it's the same way. Whatever they do when they're on life support, they'll have to do the same thing through that. But usually, when they go into palliative, what they call palliative sedation is when they put to sleep before they die.
Right.
When they go into palliative sedation, it means they're going to die anyway. I mean, they're going to be dead within a few minutes.
Oh, his girlfriend's calling him. His girlfriend's saying, "Don't be talking about euthanasia on the radio."
She's seen it.
She's like, "Don't be doing that." I don't know what people are like.
But so what it means is so palliative sedation is they're gonna die in the next day or so. So I don't.
Jeepers,
so if they didn't use palliative sedation, they weren't gonna feed them anyway.
Is this whole thing like making them comfortable? Is that whole like?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I still don't understand how this finger quote thing works.
It's making them comfortable, but the also thing that people are not usually aware of is that it's also designed to kill them quicker.
Right.
It's to do that as well. It is. That's what they call palliative euthanasia, but they can't say that because of the technical term of the law. Like the law says you can't rush to kill, but technically you can. You can give them. They know more, but the reason being is because morphine makes them comfortable.
Right.
But there's no other. The thing is, they can't offer an alternative that won't kill them quicker, but will make them equally as comfortable. The only thing that can make them comfortable is the substance that will kill them quicker anyway. So that's why it's not illegal to give them morphine or an overdose of it. It will kill them off anyway. Little bit quicker than if they just let the illness take over.
So if we're having on different levels here, we have people who, oh jeepers, they
want to die because
these are people who they're not people who are just like feeling depressed and who are like 18 or something.
They should. I think those people who are 18 and depressed should not be allowed under any circumstances.
So if you're 18 and depressed, that's a different category.
Yeah, and I mean, do not fucking
we're
kill them.
Able-bodied, and below 18 or something. That's like a different category. So are we talking maybe people over 50 who aren't able-bodied? That kind of category.
Yeah.
And people in that category may be considered, in a theoretical world, okay for euthanasia under some ethical headline or something like that.
Pretty much, yeah.
And could we focus in a little bit more, apart from, say, over 50 and not able-bodied, is there any other traits which maybe tick the boxes for maybe euthanasia is right for you, if I may include sarcasm for a moment?
That's right for me anyway, because I'm gone left-handed.
So okay, let's just say you're is over 50. Age doesn't actually come into it, really, does it? Because we have someone under. So maybe if you're not able-bodied, is that even is that even a deciding factor if you're able-bodied or not?
I mean, someone who had the left leg chopped off. I don't think that's
I know I'm interrupting you here, but just if we could come up with just roughly, just for the sake of we'll explain this to a 3-year-old here. Just 5 or 10 characteristics that are like, if you have these 5 things, maybe you would be eligible to the next process. So what are the 5 things or 10 things or whatever?
I think if you are number one, you can't move you can't do anything in your life.
So paralysed, or you can't do anything in your life, not paralysed. You can't do anything in your life for yourself.
Absolutely nothing, okay. And you're just like you can't do anything.
You can't do anything.
And by that I mean you're unhappy in life. Even if people take care of you, I mean you for example, what I don't agree is saying, oh, I want to be killed because I don't want to be a burden to someone else. You should not have to be made to feel like that. Right. If you're made to feel like that and that's your reason for going to euthanasia, I would say an absolute no. I would reject it straight away. Because I think if you really care for someone, I think we insist on helping each other. Helping each other first is the number one step.
Okay.
But the reason for them wanting to die is not because people don't want to help them. It's because of a I think the reason for euthanasia because of rejection is like unconstitutional. That's what that's my opinion. I mean, everyone's entitled, but that is my complete opinion. Now that's nothing to do with like abortion or anything like that. I mean, that's all right. I love that. But I think like
you can hear the pitter patter of angry keyboard, angry comments going. Oh, you can't say that.
I love that.
Alright, we're gonna stay on topic. Keep going.
But yeah, so
we're building our top five.
So I think for any kind of stigma reasons, euthanasia is a no. Get rid of that first. Otherwise, I'll kill every one of you. So fuck off.
Bit of a joke there. Yeah. It's for sometimes people, I don't know, I'm afraid a lot of people don't have a sense of humour. I don't know how to say that nicely, but a lot of people don't understand humour, so I have to be kind of...
Oh yeah.
I kind of have to state when it's a joke, when it gets to like this kind of
You're good at that.
intensity of... I don't know.
But no, but on a serious note, I think for the reason for rejection purposes, like they're thinking, oh, so I'm just going to be a burden. I feel like less than all that, so just kill me. You'll be better off without me. To me, that's an absolute no. I mean, that's not a reason for euthanasia.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that's not a reason for you to die should not be a reason for euthanasia. I think. I mean, I'm not saying euthanasia is completely against it. I mean, I'm not against it. I have I don't have it all or I'm a kind of person that has an all or nothing opinion about most things, but when it comes to something like this, I'm almost the opposite. I have very different levels of opinions. I don't have all or nothing. The amount of grey areas is absolutely ridiculous what I have. So I'm extremely sensitive when it comes to life or death. I'm super sensitive, but when it comes to things that doesn't come anywhere near that, I can afford to be a cunt and a superhero. So, but with this, I can't do that. And I won't. Yeah. I mean, this is it's very, very personal, and it's highly subjective. There's no objectivity, and it should never be. It should be subjectivity because we're dealing with someone's existence.
I'm trying to make something that's not trivial and very serious, trivial and light, just for a few seconds. So we just have a top 5 here of. If you tick these 5 boxes, maybe you're eligible on a game show for an euthanasia. I realise I'm making fun of a very serious topic. We just have top 5 game show. I was making
fun, and I thought.
Okay, number 1, you're not able to do anything for yourself. Is that it?
And you're gonna die anyway.
But you're gonna die anyway. Okay, so you have a terminal disease and you can't do anything for yourself. Number 2, what's the next tick? What do you have to do to be eligible for euthanasia?
I think if you were, let's say, I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
No, I can't say
it. Move on to the next one.
Okay, I'm going to have to skip some because
I know, it's a very touchy subject.
I don't know if I should say because something to do with people on the streets or something.
I feel like I should get Google out and let Wikipedia do all the hard talking because we don't really know the right language to have.
I think there's very few. I think most of it's to do with terminal illness.
Okay, so maybe a terminal illness. If you have a terminal illness, and
that will kill you.
What are we talking, like the next
6 months?
In the next 6 months,
maximum.
If you have a terminal illness that will kill you in the next 6 months,
you can be eligible for it.
Okay, and any other are you leaving it at that? That's the golden answer. That's the yes or no answer.
There's very few things because I don't really think. I mean,
I'm putting you in an impossible situation.
Oh, I love it.
So, honestly, no matter what you say, people are going to say, you can't say that.
I'll tell you, I'm going to go from my experience. I'll go, rather than saying, if you were, I'm going to say, if I was in a certain... So
if you were in the deathbed yourself.
Yeah, okay. I'll put
that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, a fictional character in his fictional deathbed.
Okay, I'm going to play
in fiction land.
I'm going into another movie. Another movie is where I was made homeless. Let's say I was in prison for not paying my TV license. I ended up being homeless on the streets, and I knew that the only 99% chance that I wasn't going to survive, then I would definitely. If they didn't have euthanasia, I would go up to the top of a mountain, drink a bottle of vodka and maybe Coke, and then I'd roll myself down the hill and end it that way.
But surely if you just had a load of Coke and a load of vodka, you'd be feeling fucking class and you wouldn't want to kill yourself. Maybe. Until the next morning, they'd be too tired.
Maybe, yeah. But that's all I do, yeah.
So that's an emotional decision, though, surely.
But if I was thinking, if I was in a certain location or a certain situation where I knew, statistically that there was that 1% chance of I was going to survive it. Now, if that was someone that was close to me, I'd be doing everything I can to make that 1% possible. So it's kind of a different thing when you're trying to help someone else or you're trying to help yourself. There's a slight... Good people kind of... No one can really kind of see that discrepancy.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be enough for me to put it in a definite list or kind of go the opposite. But I would never... But just so you know, if anyone was ever... I'm not encouraging anyone to go through this or anything or try and think this as a solution. It's a for me, euthanasia is... It's the same way when an animal gets sick and they have to be put down. Why the fuck did you do it with animals?
That's what one lad was saying in the comments there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
His name was, that gentleman.
But why? How come we're allowed to do animals and not with humans? I mean, I can understand with children, but I know animals don't really have consent because they don't.
People won't be afraid of the system being abused and people doing it for land and stuff. Exactly. So I'm gonna give you a break. I'm just gonna read out Wikipedia stuff and then you can get back to me. You need to
drink.
Relax yourself there. So euthanasia, okay. It says noun here. I'm just reading off. Where are we here? Oxford. So it says painless killing of a patient suffering from an incurable painful disease, or in an irreversible coma. Okay, that seems relatively reasonable.
They're probably chances are they're not aware of their existence anyway. It's not gonna make any difference to them. They probably.
Sorry to interrupt. I'll let you. How about I let you say a sentence after everything I say? That's pretty reasonable. Yeah. Noun. It says noun here. Painless killing of patients suffering from an incurable and painful disease or an irreversible coma. I think I just read the same thing again. I did. Okay. Similar. Mercy killing, assisted suicide, physician assisted suicide, merciful release, happy release. Jeepers. Any thoughts on that? Those words?
Well, what's happy about it for a start?
Okay, we're moving on. Next line.
So I won't decide.
Okay.
Merciful is the same. It's just you're putting them out of their misery.
It's just Oxford definition. So
one of the things that apply to animals really, they just define it for a human being instead. Okay. Anything that's not human, basically, it's the same thing. There's no difference. It's just the laws and technicalities behind it.
Yeah. BBC.com here we have ethics and then overview, and they have to say, this is BBC once again, what are the 4 types of euthanasia? I'm just going to read them out now, and then Dr. Boogie's just going to have his own personal opinion. I might say something.
Here we go. I'm coming this bit.
Yeah,
this is the best.
Let's get that inappropriate game show music playing. Let's rock out that sweet inappropriate intasteful music. Okay, assisted suicide is 1. Indirect euthanasia is 2. Voluntary and involuntary euthanasia is 3. Active and passive euthanasia. In active euthanasia, a personality. Okay, it just keeps going on. They all sound like the same thing to me. Different.
Well, voluntary and involuntary is where involuntary euthanasia is the one that shouldn't exist. I think that should be gone. To me, that's murder. That's the same as murder. Like whatever things. My opinion. I think. Maybe it's applying to animals. Involuntary, maybe. I don't know. If it's referring to humans, then I think involuntary euthanasia means that person didn't give consent.
Yeah, I have a list of. I think we'll probably finish up pretty soon. If you've anything else,
I'll talk about the thrill side of euthanasia.
Oh, geez. Yeah, we have to talk about the euthanasia roller coaster in a moment or two.
I was gonna
That's
get
a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Okay, here we have. Is euthanasia legal 2019? And we just have here from deathwithdignity.org.
Oh, that's in Switzerland.
Oh, okay. It says here, as of 2019, California, Colorado, District of Columbia, Hawaii, Maine, that's Maine, as of September 2019, New Jersey as of August 2019, Oregon, Vermont, that's Vermount, Washington, have death and dignity statutes, that's SATUATUTES. In Montreal, physician assisted dying has been legal by state Supreme Court ruling since 2009. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, it's just becoming more... obviously it's going to be heavily regulated, but I think... I don't know about this trend, but I think most of these things going on in trends, and I think it's going to become a little bit more liberal, and it might extend to things beyond the physical.
Just a side random note, I don't know, it just says what does Islam say about euthanasia? I know this might be clickbait.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about how the Quran works, or I barely even know how Christianity works, and
But
I'm
I
brought up in
think,
it.
but most religions are against it, aren't they?
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah,
We'll
sure,
find out.
sure, here you
Jeez,
go.
hold on to me, man. We're going to find out.
Hold on.
What does
I bet
these
I'll-
lads have to say about it?
Don't worry about it.
Don't whine about it. Yeah. So this is Wikipedia. Okay, this could take Anthony. It just says, what does Islam
Wikipedia.
say about euthanasia? It says Muslims are against euthanasia. They believe that all human life is sacred because it is given by God, and
Christian's the same, is it?
it could be. I don't know.
It is. To be lived in sacrifice.
Yeah. And that God chooses how long each person lives. Humans should not interfere in this. Human beings, should not interfere with this. It is forbidden for a Muslim to plan, or to come to know self-will. Oh, jeepers.
Well, that's religion, like that's...
At the time of his own death in advance. Okay. I was just trying to be all like...
That's like
PC
when you're looking up the death clocks, like you're going to die in so many minutes and seconds.
Is there any articles you want to read out there before we go on to the euthanasia roller coaster? Something click in your eye there.
I'll just need the bathroom.
Oh, okay, cool. So listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be finishing up this episode soon, but before we do, we're going to talk about the euthanasia roller coaster.
Yeah.
We do this little thing called the problem tree. Okay, and it's like the confession box or whatever. You just tell the computer, your earphones, your own issues that are going on with the day.
We'll be back.
Like a whole kind of free mental health counselling thing.
Tighten your harness and seatbelt for the ride.
It gives you time to boil that kettle.
Sink it in, because
normally people play ads, and I will be getting the ads ready, lol. Not that you want.
Because I tell you, we're going on the roller coaster of your life.
Yeah. Right, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. So
that's the one.
We'll be back. Or maybe we won't. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll get next thing.
We're going on the euthanasia. We could be on the euthanasia coaster by now.
Hold on tight.
The roller coaster. Say bye, do this. Roller coaster. Whoa, what's up, it's back, it's who's back, back in the track, we're singing about euthanasia, roller coasters, euthanasia, YOLO coaster, euthanasia, YOLO coaster, euthanasia, roller coaster, is it ethical? I don't know, we're gonna find out. Oh, yeah. Time to party.
Yeah, you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
See the sip.
Let me just restart this Instagram, and we're gonna. This is part 2, and we're gonna be talking about the euthanasia roller coaster.
The best method to euthanasia.
Okay, we're gonna find out all the things.
We need to get an image of and show them, man. An image of the roller coaster. The closest thing I've been on a euthanasia coaster was on a ride called Goliath, and I tell you what, it's the best fucking. It's the ride-gasm. It was the best fucking. Like, it's the one thing that I felt completely weightless and I was on a big drop. It's even scarier than skydiving, I swear to God, because when you skydive, and I've done skydiving before, like once, and from 10,000 feet, and when you jump out of the plane, you jump out of a good surface, perfectly surfaced airplane, fuck off, you cliched fuckers.
Jesus Christ.
But Aaron, like, on fucking like social media and all say, oh, you jumped out of perfectly good service airplane. Oh yeah, you cliched. Yeah, you're not gonna get more likes by saying that because everyone else said it. So, but anyway, but I jumped out of it anyway, whether it's service. In fact, it was, even that fact of service enabled me to do it. So yeah, definitely it's going to be serviced. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it by accident, or I would I. So I jumped out of it, and you feel like weightless for 5 seconds while you're looking at like everything's like a midget looking below, and after that you don't feel like you're falling. People think, oh, you're going to be weightless, feel like you're falling forever. You don't actually at all. You feel like you're Superman flying. It's like you're in a swimming pool, but instead of like water, it's just wind.
Do you go down or do you go across? Like, what is it?
Well, you're always falling anyway. You reach terminal velocity, where I think it's like 160 miles an hour. And if you threw like a whole building, a hot skyscraper at that speed, and you threw yourself at, both of you would stop at the same speed. Both of you would not go any faster than 160 miles an hour. It doesn't matter how light or heavy you are. You'd be able to put your hand under the Empire State Building and kind of move it around. You are all exactly the same weight at that full speed.
We talked about this in another episode, and
the Euthanasia Coaster is kind of a little bit different. It kind of gives you what they call hypoxia.
Yeah.
Which means lack of blood and oxygen is going to your brain.
Whoa. What is the euthanasia roller coaster? Or am I jumping ahead?
No.
Okay, euthanasia. Can I explain it just because I know nothing about it and you can go, listen, this is what it actually is.
Yeah, go on.
And that might be a bit more fun.
Before I say that,
have someone talk.
If you swallow a helium balloon, you're getting the idea.
If you swallow a helium balloon.
Apart from making a voice from it, you'll actually get an idea of what euthanasia, because I did it once and I really blacked out. Go on, say what you have said. I'll tell you something really stupid I did.
Even better. So the crack is, I think it's something like, if you want, Tenny told me years ago, and by Tenny I mean the infamous Dr. Boogie. He said euthanasia roller coaster is some invention they had in some Scandinavian country where they were like, listen, people want to kill themselves, so we'll make it fun for them. So they go on this roller coaster and you spin them around a lot of times, and you'll get really high from spinning around, and then you'll die by the end of it. And by the end of it, they just throw all the bodies off. And he was saying something like, oh, there might be a lottery involved, and it's like, once you're older, you get put in a lottery or something. It was all theoretical. We were just talking, we were school kids.
Exactly, yeah.
So now we're actually going to hear what it's about from the source, and not just some lad talking about it.
But you know what, you said exactly what it is. It's exactly that. I'll just go into more detail into what it is. So the way the roller coaster works is, you're getting as if you're getting in any normal theme park ride. If you have the harness, like, you coming over your head so you don't fall out. So you go up this big chain, which is like this. You go up like this, which is like 500 meters. And apparently at the top, it stops there, and you can press a lever, and you have to decide, change your mind. If you press change your mind, you'll go back down the hill slowly, and you just get off the thing.
That's a bit late though, isn't it? Like, that's really last minute, like.
Yeah, but you still have that option, because in actually assisted suicide itself, they actually, when you have everything around you ready to go, they still ask you, do you want to change your mind or not? And they say, like, don't worry about any.
It's like a fucking huge roller coaster, isn't it? Like, is this as big as this? Like, in Ireland, is it as big? Like, is it as big as the Spire? How big is this fucking thing?
I think it's even high. The Spire's in like 100 and something.
Jesus
Christ. Is 500 meters.
So we're talking. Listen, the Irish assisted suicide. The Irish
Spire.
The Irish assisted suicide.
I don't think it's not
roller coaster would have to be 2 spires put on top of each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, fucking hell!
Minimum.
Like, who's going to pay for that?
Well, actually, I think 3.5 spires anyway.
Fuck! I'm out. I am out. Before you said this, I was like, oh yeah, fair enough. Sounds like a bit of crack. But there was so much aggro over getting the Spire in Dublin. Like, people are still giving out about how much it costs.
The only thing I would say about the Spires, if they actually put a bungee jumping platform at the top of it, I'd love to do that. I mean, there's nothing. I'd love to be able to. I wish they'd. I think here's my opinion. Right. The Spire would have been somewhat useful if you could at least go inside it and go up something. But just for something to look up to be. It's the only skyscraper in the whole city that you can't even go inside. It's just a needle. Like, I mean, what else is it? Like, there's nothing else.
It's the stiffy and the liffy.
Yeah, it's just like a fucking prick.
It's the prick and
it's like fucking. adrenaline.
That would have, from a business side though, that would have upped the price like.
But then
so much.
But that was before there was. But then how can you explain all the lifts in the train stations going out of order every day?
Lifts are very, very expensive. Like they're so expensive. They cost like $1 million for a lift, and then maintenance is more on top of that.
But they could have used it towards the lifts instead of the spire.
Yeah, but that's bringing in more tourism to the country, which is bringing in more money to pay for more lifts, to pay for more tourism. Like that's where. Alright, we're getting into business.
That's if it was distributed anyway.
We're talking about YOLO roller coasters at the moment.
Business and suicide, yeah.
Business and suicide.
But the thing, I mean.
That's what everyone's afraid of, though, isn't it? People making money off assisted suicide, and people afraid that their great grandson will come in and try to murder them, and make them go on some weird roller coaster.
That's the thing, and the thing is they go trick them into it, and they would say sign this consent, and they think they.
Fear is about.
So like, that's why it's not so easily given. Like even in those countries, not anyone can just go up. They have to have full consent. They have to prove. They have to go through the whole. It's like going through a criminal trial. They have to be. Like verified beyond a reasonable doubt before you're allowed to do it. You can't. No one can just go up and to say I want to die next week and that's it. It doesn't. It takes years. It's like a divorce or a criminal trial. It works the same way.
Is there a waiting list for this kind of thing?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that brings in a whole other element then. So it's not like you just go into a shop and go, listen, I want to die.
No.
You have to be. Maybe just you produce some kind of paperwork being like, listen, I can't.
Oh, huge!
Pain.
And even when you die, they have to have the police in to investigate a homicide, even though they won't arrest anyone.
Sounds like a fucking mess if you want to be a serial killer. Paper trail alone. Oh my word! This sounds like an awful business transaction.
I like the Easter trail. That's similar anyway.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so apparently, even have to call the police and say, "Come in, someone just died, so we have to investigate a homicide." Under technical terms considered homicide, even though homicide doesn't mean murder. It just means another person helping or indirectly or directly killing another person, even if it's under their own permission. It's still considered homicide. Just means having another person involved in someone's death. Whether it's legal, moral or not, it's just a technical term. So on the death certificate they have to tick it under as homicide.
Yeah.
And it's the same in the States where they have the death penalty, where they involuntary euthanasia, where they kill you by lethal injection. When they say reason for death, the box they have to tick is homicide. So it's murder.
Okay.
Because the person didn't want to be killed. So you're still murdering as much as the person is murdering.
So then it's like state electrocution and stuff. Is that under homicide as well then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
That absolutely. Yeah, 100%. It's under murder, like basically.
Right, we've only got 8 minutes left, so we might have to summarise.
We'll go into the coast. We're going right.
And finish up.
Strap your seatbelts in.
Are we going for a simulation of the euthanasia roller coaster?
Oh, I watched the simulation. It felt so good.
Alright, so this is already like a few times as big as
Here
the Spire.
we go. We're going to go 3 times as big as the Spire. So we're going to go straps in. Let's move it up. We're going to go up 500 feet. At the top. Right. Here's your decision. Push forward if you want to keep going. Pull back if you want to go back down the hill slowly and decide you're not going to do it.
But is there other people on the road? There's loads of people on it though, surely.
Is
it not kind of like if half people decide you have to go anyway?
Do you know what? I don't.
It's not a
it hasn't existed yet, so I don't know yet. But
theoretical.
For what theoretically I see there's about 10 seats on, but only one person seems to be on it at any given time.
Right.
So I'll just wait.
Do you think like the government would? But like, listen, this is how we're doing it. We're bringing it to you. Like, this is more efficient than.
If they did, it would only be one car roller coaster. I don't think they put 10 people on because they'd be fighting over. If one person decide, like, who wants to die and who wants to live, like, oh shit, I want to live. If one person says shit, I want to live, they'd have to bring the whole thing back.
I guess we're not worried about efficiency anymore. We're just worried. We're just.
But yeah, no.
About being a playful experience.
I mean, there's few ways, like going into a hypoxia chamber and killing yourself that way. Like there's one guy who actually accidentally killed himself by going to shed and breathing some sort of gas that made him like to give him a sexual orgasm, and he ended up killing himself accidentally.
What was this gas? Where do I sign up? What's this gas called?
It was gas anyway.
It was just a general fart gas, was it?
Not laughing gas or anything. It was kind of like stronger than that. I don't. It could have been pure oxygen, but he probably could have. But he said he went to a shed and he took the stuff like he was on a erotic. He felt like having sex and all, but so he decided to use this gas to help him masturbate and all, and
Fucking
ended
hell.
up killing him.
And would you recommend it, or would he say don't?
Well, if you're going to kill yourself, some equivalent to the euthanasia coaster, sure. Well, no, I wouldn't recommend killing yourself. But anyway, that's but on the euthanasia, you go up 500 meters, and then you go on a big drop. You go down. That's not going to kill you. But then you go around 10 loops. But every loop you go around, each one is smaller than the previous. And the idea is to make all the blood and molecules run to your brain and deprive you of oxygen. But in the same time, it's not painful. It gives you an absolutely massive thrill, and you just fall asleep and be really happy. Imagine the happiest day of your life. Imagine you falling asleep the day before your wedding. That kind of happiness. And then you just go off, and that's it. That's the end of you. That's what.
Yeah. Just from a synthetic point of view, would they not just be better off giving you a needle of morphine? You'd feel the same.
Well, maybe, yeah, but I'm not saying the euthanasia coaster is a thing.
It's theoretical. I'm being a downer on a downer.
It doesn't exist, actually.
I'm sorry.
I'm calling it euthanasia. Roll it, baby.
It's a lot to take in.
It's it doesn't exist as kind of thing. They're doing the needle thing and all that anyway, so I think they'll go with that. They just listen to nice Beethoven or Mozart and Chopin, and then they just die that way. It's a weird hypothetical. It's only hypothetical. I don't think it's going to exist anyway.
Yeah.
Well, not in our lifetime anyway.
Well, like, you think of, like, this whole euthanasia thing would be in like 100 years, or what do you think?
I don't know. I don't think it will ever go fully into euthanasia. I don't think. I mean, certainly for children it won't, because the laws would be. There'll always be opposition against anything to do with life and death. I think there'll always be opposition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that will ever change. I don't think we're all going to be like pro killing people or pro against. I think there's always going to be the middle. There's going to be two sides to this kind of thing. When it comes to extremes, there's always going to be like two sides. That's why it's extreme to begin with.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're ever going to get that kind of majority or minority. I mean, it's hard to know really. I mean, regarding politics, I mean, the governments are going to have more kind of defined numbers, but just because of technical things. Like, for example, when we saw that post about most of us supporting euthanasia, the government would do everything to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the governments and the public opinions, the statistics would be very different, and I think that's always going to be the case. I don't think that will ever change. So I don't think we're ever going to have everyone's on the same. The government and the people will never be fully on the same page. That's never going to happen. I don't think that will ever change, or anytime soon. I think it hasn't happened up until now, so I don't see how it's going to happen in the next 10 years at least anyway. Maybe 10,000 years, I don't know, but certainly in 10 years that's not going to happen, for sure. 99.999% sure.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of and the fact that if they do it, it'll be with things less extreme than euthanasia. So I think euthanasia is kind of at the back of the queue when it comes to like being considered anywhere else. I think they'll consider other things before they get to that point. It'll probably be one of the last things they'll look at. So
Judaism has to say on Wikipedia anyway, if you can believe that. Euthanasia remains illegal, however the topic is actively under debate with no clear consciousness, though legal, ethical, theoretical or spiritual perspectives.
I think they're on the point though.
Yeah.
I mean they're taking into like they're talking about
Christianity just says broadly against.
Yeah. I think saying maybe they're thinking more spiritual to Judaism. Maybe they're thinking on terms of the afterlife. They might think, I mean, that's just their beliefs. Like, I don't know. I mean, they're thinking more on a spiritual, like there's more to us than the physical. But maybe other religions who do believe in things, but they believe that that's not how the way it's done.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. I mean, that's anyone's belief.
In the United States, 2013, 47% nationwide supported doctor-assisted suicide. This included 32% of Latinos, 29% of African Americans, and almost nobody with disabilities. I think that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just looking for some stuff to
I think
finish
people
this
have different.
topic up.
I think people. I agree with
Kubrick, how you getting on?
I think people with disabilities, like, looking to kill people with disabilities. I think that's completely wrong.
They also say here the thing I was avoiding saying all night, which was Nazi euthanasia program. It says 1939 killing of severely disabled infants in Nazi Germany described as blah 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 blah. I don't know.
Go on, say.
No, that's it. It just goes on. I don't know. Is that kind of elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about?
Well, sure.
But yeah, that's it. Right. Sorry, you keep going. Sorry for interrupting you.
No. I like it. It's two ways.
I don't know. Early euthanasia movement in the United States. Flex Adler was permitting.
Felix Adler, circa 1913, the first prominent American to argue for permitting suicide in cases of chronic illness.
Yeah, so he was up for assisted suicide in chronic illnesses, and that's where the American kind of movement, and then we have beginnings of contemporary euthanasia debate started in the 1800s using use of morphine, which is quite similar to what some things whispers we've been hearing in the hospitals in Europe. Chloroform was used by Joseph Butler in 1866 as a method of... Alright, so listen, we're going to have to end up pretty quickly. We're just coming up to the hour now. Is there anything you would like to get off your chest on the subject? Do you want to look up any facts or anything like that?
Well, I think whatever state you are,
we did our best anyway.
I mean, anyone who people might be in different states listening to this, but like I said, if you have a feeling like you're thinking that's one, I'm going to say this now. If you ever feel like that's something you're considering, please look at the helplines. Will help you think of alternatives, and don't think you're worthy of that, because you're not. Like, you're worthy of. You're not a burden to anyone. Whatever happens in life, whatever anyone says, you are absolutely you've done nothing in your life to deserve any of that.
It seems like people the most biggest problem is people confusing mental health issues with something else. Do you know, people mixing up. When people hear euthanasia, they're like, oh fuck, I don't want my son to, I don't know, euthanize himself without us knowing or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a fear and a panic, the same kind of panic that is around contraception and abortion and other things that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Well, anything to death is always going to be controversial, and it always will be.
I know. That's my ending statement. So do you have an ending statement before? I know I kept it vague because this is an impossible subject to do a podcast on. No matter what we do, there's going to be people saying that was great or that was awful.
This is for educational purposes only and informative person only. This is not encouraged to be acted upon or substitute for any other advice.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to leave it there. We're saying goodbye, and
we love you.
We love you. Any final words for click stop?
You're already cool.
We're finished. We're finished time to go. Cool. We're saying goodbye, and
have a drink with us. You're cool.
Alright, good
drink
night.
Now. You're good.
Great. You're superstars. You can keep going. Keep the head down. You're brilliant.
You got this far. You're brilliant. We love you. Be proud of yourselves.
Alright, check out my CBT program or whatever. Good night. Subscribe. Patreon.
All the way.
Buy a hat that costs €2. €200, excuse me.
200.
That's a bargain. That's a bargain.
That's exactly a huge bargain. Getting a good deal, mate.